Perfect. All right, let's do that. So we will call the meeting to order for the Montachusett Joint Transportation Committee on this Wednesday, May 13th. Let's start off with introductions. Brian, do you want to do the roll call on that one?
Sure. And what I've been doing is just calling the names as I see on my list. So I'm Brian Doherty. I'm Transportation Project Director at Montachusett Regional Planning Commission, and we have Travis Condon,
Yep. Travis Conn, North Central Massachusetts Chamber of Commerce, Director of Public Affairs.
Elizabeth Wood,
Hi, Elizabeth Wood, City of Leominster.
Janet Tice,
Hi, Janet Tice, Shirley Planning Board.
Cindy Marie King,
Cindy King, Townsend Planning Board.
Grace Belmont,
Hi, I'm Grace, a member of the planning team at MRPC.
Daryl Amaral,
Good afternoon, Daryl Amaral, District 2 planner.
George Snow,
George Snow, MRPC Transportation Planner.
I have Laurie, is that you, Laura Schifrin? Oh,
Yes, it is. Laura Schifrin, Townsend Select Board.
okay. Michael Yaboa
Michael Yabua, Transit Planner Mart.
and Miranda Briseno,
MPO activities, MassDOT planning.
Nicholas Erickson,
Sorry, couldn't find the mute button. Nick Erickson, Fitchburg Department of Public Works.
Ryan Doherty,
Hi there, Ryan Doherty, Planning Director for Town of Westminster.
Paul Raskovitz,
Paul Raskovitz, FLDPW Superintendent.
all right, thanks everyone. I think I got everything. As I was reading the names on the screen, they kept on jumping around, so I think that's everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now move on to approval of the April 8th, 2026 minutes. I know they were on the link that Brian had sent out. I think he has them up as well on the shared screen. If anyone has any questions, comments, concerns, or changes, please let us know. And if not, we'll take a motion to accept them.
I so
Anybody?
moved, Janet Tice.
Thanks, Janet. Do we have a second?
Second, Nick Erickson.
Thanks, Nick. Appreciate it.
And just so you know, we typically do things by consensus here, so no formal vote is necessary.
And so now we are going to move on to the MJTC nominating committee, and then the appointment forms, which have already been sent out. Brian, do you want to just do both of those, kind of one into another?
Yeah, it's kind of two in one, right? So first off, we have our nominating committee. So this is structured like many other committees out there. In this case, in May, we typically convene a nominating committee to determine who will serve as officers for the next go round of this. So we're looking for ultimately we have three officers. We have a chair, a vice chair, and a secretary. And the obligations of the officers are relatively limited. We're just really looking for somebody to chair the meeting. So typically that's the chair. If the chair can't make it, the vice chair fills in. If the chair or the vice chair can't make it, then the secretary fills in. Or I could do it as well. So that's basically what we're looking for. We have a staff that does the minutes and everything, mailings, everything like that. So that's what we're looking for ultimately. So the process is in May, the chairman will appoint a convener who will then choose up to three members to serve on the nominating committee. So the nominating committee will just have to meet before the June meeting. They'll be tasked with coming up with a slate of officers to discuss at the June meeting. At that June meeting, we'll present the slate that the nominating committee came up with, take any other recommendations from the floor, and then the next time we meet, sometimes we do meet in July. Typically, we do skip July. We'll meet in August. Whatever the next meeting is, we'll have a formal vote as to who will serve as chair, vice chair, and secretary of this group. So, with that being said, uh, um, as chair today, Travis, would you like to appoint a convener to develop this group, or we can just open it up for volunteers to serve on this nominating committee?
Sure. I mean, I don't really want to put anybody on the spot, put any pressure. So if anyone wants to volunteer to do this, happy to take volunteers. It is a relatively light lift. I've sat on this beforehand. I will tell you it's very easy. Brian does a lot of the legwork. So is anyone interested in helping with this process?
But typically, what we do is, I just usually more times than not, I'll just open the June meeting 15 minutes early. We can have the 5-minute discussion and come up with the slate. That's kind of how it's been working lately.
Brian, this is Laura Schifrin. I'm happy to help.
Oh, great, Laura. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. I can sit on the committee again if you need another person as well.
That's great. Thanks, Travis.
Yep. And then I think we're looking for at least one more person.
Well, there's not a requirement to have 3 people, but
right.
so I think Laura and Travis, I'll reach out to you. Thanks very much.
Actually,
Thank you.
this is Cindy King. I'm brand new, so I didn't want to volunteer right away, but since I don't know anybody yet, except I know Lori, that's it. So I'll do it too.
That's great, Cindy. Thank you very much. Yeah, and welcome as well. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'll reach out to the 3 of you, and maybe we'll meet right before the next meeting, or if there's another time that works, I'll make sure it's all spelled out and we take care of business. So thank you again. Okay, so the next item, I guess I'll just treat these as one and the same. Each year around this time, I send out appointment forms to our communities and our organizational members. So we ask each of our communities to appoint 2 persons to the JTC, attending meetings, just following along with what's going on at a regional level. So we task that with the select board and the planning board. So we asked those 2 entities in each of our communities to appoint somebody to serve on this committee. The people who they appoint do not have to be members of those boards, but nonetheless, we tasked them with selecting somebody. So these went out. I think I sent them out on Monday. We're asking for these to be returned by June 30th. And again, this is for the next year of the JTC, which will be July 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2027. Again, if there's any questions, just reach out to me. A number of communities have already sent them back, so I appreciate that. I'll bring this up again in June just as a FYI again. So this is just informational. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, looking at the next item on the agenda, looking at the 2027 to 2031 Transportation Improvement Program. We'll start with the review draft comments and then the recommendation to the MPO. And I believe, Brian, you're handling that item as well, keeping you busy today.
Yeah. Okay, so most of you have been through this process over the last several months. We've been developing our transportation improvement program for the Montachusett region. This is a listing of all transportation projects with some element of federal funding. This is a federally required document of the MPO. As a JTC, we review these federally required documents and provide feedback. So last month, if you remember, we went over in detail the projects that we list. And as I mentioned, we've been going through this process since I think January. We presented this full draft to the JTC last month. Your recommendation to the MPO was to send this out for a public comment period. They opted to do so at their meeting in April. We're within the comment period right now. It actually ends on Friday, close of business on Friday. you can see it's an extensive document. It's more than just the projects that we list. There's a lot of analysis required, and other, references to legislation and that type of thing. So it's beyond just the projects we've been reviewing. There's a lot of information in here. Nonetheless, this has been available for public comment. Typically, we review the comments that we receive on this. However, we have not received any. We typically do receive comments from Mass DOT, Federal Highway Administration, Federal Transit Administration. I'm not sure why those comments haven't come in yet. We don't anticipate anything groundbreaking. We don't anticipate any projects moving around. DOT has been really helpful over the years in just kind of making comments on some of the references that we make to legislation or some of the analysis, kind of the background data. Like I said, there's a lot of federal requirements that go into this and reporting, so it's nice to have another set of eyes on it. But nonetheless, we do not have any comments to review today. So the document is unchanged from last month. However, we will be bringing this to the MPO at their meeting next week and asking them to endorse this. Ultimately, that's what we'd like to entertain a motion to do, to have a recommendation from the JTC to the MPO to endorse the 2027 through 2031 Transportation Improvement Program. And of course, if there's any questions, reach out to me. There's still an opportunity to provide an official comment. I see Miranda's hands up.
I'm getting you those comments by the end of the week, Brian. Just letting you know.
Great. Yeah. Thanks, Miranda. So if the committee wishes to make a recommendation to the MPO to endorse, that's fine, without reviewing any comments that have come in. If not, it's just really informational. Typically we have made recommendations to endorse. Staff does suggest that, but it's up to the committee.
Anyone on the committee wish to make an endorsement? Can we get a motion?
I'll make a motion. It's Ryan from Westminster.
Thank you, Ryan. And do we have a second?
Second, Janet Tice.
Perfect. And we'll take that by consent. Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you both. And now we are going to move on to the next item on the agenda, the fiscal year 2027 Unified Planning Work Program, the UPWP, talking about the draft and then a recommendation request to the MPO.
Okay, so this is another federally required document that we put together. Typically this time of year, we're talking about all these federally required documents we have to put together. So it's maybe a little bit boring. We've gone over a lot of this information. I promise to have some exciting new agenda items at future meetings, but nonetheless, here's our Unified Planning Work Program. Again, we've been discussing this since January or December or so. We opted on holding off of releasing this for public comment last month because we were waiting for some budgetary items to come in. We're still waiting for some, but it's kind of time to put it out there. This is the full document. We have the full draft available. Again, it's a large document, but essentially what this is our staff's work program for federal fiscal year 2027. This is kind of what our budget looks like. We've gone over a lot of these tasks within this work program. So these are basically the projects that we're working on next year. Again, we present this to the JTC for informational purposes, to get comments, to make recommendations. But essentially what you see is kind of unchanged from what we went over a few months ago. We do have the budget applied here. There still could be some changes. We're waiting for some feedback. But essentially what we have is 4 different sections. Within section 1 is that's management and support. This is basically allows us to run the MPO, do all the documentation planning work that's required of us, public outreach, MPO meetings, what have you, everything that comes up through the year. Section 2, highway surveillance. This allows us to carry forward some of our management plan type of activities. We have traffic counting, we have GIS mapping. and analysis. We have a pavement management program. We track performance measures that we set in our long range plan. We also have a federal requirement to adopt performance measures region-wide. You might remember some of those reporting items in past JTC meetings. We're updating our bike and ped plan next year. In section 3, if you remember, we had a solicitation program for communities to request projects from us. In the past, it's been intersection studies, signal analysis, that type of thing. We have a little bit less of a budget this year for that type of thing, but we are carrying some local requests in local technical assistance. Safety planning is in relation to our crash reporting requirements region-wide, and also our Safe Streets for All initiative that we've been working on. Regional transportation plan update. This is kind of going to be our main focus next year. Really, a big part of why the MPO exists is our long-range plan. So in this, we're kicking it off really next year. We plan on having a fully endorsed long-range plan in 2028. But you'll hear a lot of this over the next 12 months. We'll be developing a committee to guide us, run by some information. We'll be kicking off that planning process, hopefully engaging a consultant to assist on certain items. And the reason why it's highlighted is because this is one of the budgetary items that we're waiting on some feedback for. So that could possibly change a bit. And then section 4 is more or less our transit initiatives. We have offer technical assistance to MART. Whatever comes up, if they may need mapping or data analysis, we can charge to that line item. They've also asked us to look into micromobility in the Fitchburg-Leominster area, namely the possibility of a bike ride share along the Twin City Rail Trail. So we'll be looking at that, among other things. So basically, this is our work program. It's all within this full draft document. We'll be presenting this to the MPO next week with a recommendation to put this out for a 21-day public comment period, after which we'll come back in June and endorse this in time to have in place for October 1st, which is the start of the fiscal year. So with that being said, we're looking for is a motion to recommend to the MPO to send this out for public comment.
Do we have a motion from the group?
I so move, Janet Tice.
Thank you, Janet. Do we have a second?
Laura Schifrin, second.
Thank you, Laura. All right, so we'll send that recommendation off.
Thank you.
I think we have Cindy's hand is raised.
Yeah, is this full document available?
So it is available to you in the handouts. Typically, what we do is we mail this out to the MPO is kind of the decision-making board of this whole process. We will mail this out to them when I do the mailing this afternoon for their meeting next week. So they'll have it like a week before their meeting. We've also been discussing what's going into it throughout the last several months. But yes, if you'd like to review the document, it's not available for public comment until they officially send it out for public comment, but it is available in the handouts for this meeting. And Cindy, I'm not sure. I know you were just appointed yesterday or the day before. I don't think I've added you to the mailing list yet, but I'll make sure to do that this afternoon. So you have access to everything.
Great, thank you.
And any other questions before we move on to the next item on the agenda? All right, thank you. Next, we have status reports. We'll start with the Regional Transit Authority, and then we'll move on to the MRPC.
All right. So here at MART, we have upcoming public meeting for our route changes for routes in Gardner, Athol, and also commuter connection to Worcester. So we'll be having this meeting on June 11th, and which would be available by Zoom throughout anyone within our region. And also we are currently working with a consultant to complete our fixed stop system within our transit system. And as part of the project, we will be hosting a workshop so that stakeholders would come in to, talk about, to discuss how the steps we go through in locating and identifying stops within our system, and also hold exercise within our selected regions, selected areas within our system to physically put in stops, and also, discuss the benefits of having bus stops and versus flag stop within our region and within our system. So these activities will be happening hopefully next week, next month, June. That will be June 18th, and the public meeting for our routes within Gardner and Athol, June 17th.
Thank you, Michael.
And I can take MRPC.
Perfect.
I just wanted to share some information from the MBTA. So they are working on a long-range plan. They're calling it Focus 2050. Part of that, they'll have some public meetings coming up. One is next week in person, Thursday, May 14th at 9:30 at 10 Park Plaza in Boston, which is the State Transportation Building. And then there's also a virtual Zoom event Wednesday, June 3rd at 2 o'clock. And there's some links they're asking to RSVP to these, so there's some links to do that in the handout. Additionally, here is our latest grant opportunity list. Again, this is just some grants that we feel is helpful to our communities. This was last updated May 5th. There's a lot of live links in there as well. One thing that I was going to do was, if I can stop sharing, I'm just going to demonstrate how to reach, how to get our to our handouts. Just so you're aware. So let me try to share a window. All right. Okay, so if you're ever looking for meeting, login, handouts, what have you, our website's mrpc.org. On the left sidebar here, you always have the JTC meeting on here. You can click on that. Typically, I update the links on this a week before the meeting, when we have the agenda set and everything like that. You can register for the meeting. You can see handouts here. If you click here, it brings you to a shared drive that has all the handouts in here. Additionally, if you're looking for like past meeting minutes or anything like that, boards and committees up top, MJTC, and you can see meeting minutes, agendas, recordings. It's all here on the right-hand side, and some additional, information on, the JTC and everything like that. Also, always feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions on all this. And I know I mentioned last month, but I'll mention again, if you have any suggestions for agenda items, please let me know, and I can try to get somebody in here to talk about something, or we can discuss something that may be an issue in your community that other communities may have some insight on. Just let me know. And that's it.
All right. Thank you, Brian. I think the last thing is the administrative matters in terms of the next meeting, correct?
That's right. That would be June 10th at 2:30. And I'll reach out to Cindy, Laura, and Travis about the nominating committee. As I mentioned in the past, we've done that just before the meeting, but if another time works better, I'll coordinate that with you. So thank you again.
Thank you. All right. And so I guess with that, we can bring this meeting to a close. We have a motion to adjourn. All right. I'll make that motion myself then. Give it a second.
Second.
Thank you, Michael. All right. We'll see you all next month.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.